I am 75 years old, and I am going to tell you something that cost me thousands of dollars to learn, maybe tens of thousands over the years. I have never said it out loud before. Here is a number for you. The average household over the age of 65 in this country wastes somewhere between $40 and $100 every single month on bills they do not even read anymore. Not because they are careless, the opposite, because they are responsible, because they set it up once, decades ago, to be the kind of person who never misses a payment, and the companies on the other end have been quietly counting on exactly that ever since. For 40 years I worked, from 25 to 65, in the corporate machine, early mornings and late nights, building what I was told would be the perfect retirement. I paid every bill the day it arrived. I was proud of that. I thought paying on time, automatically, without fuss, was what a disciplined woman did. I want to tell you why I was wrong. I want to tell you about 6 bills. 6 ordinary household bills you have sitting in a drawer or an inbox right now that you are almost certainly overpaying if you are over 65. Most people never know. I did not know until I was 71, and I had to lose something to find out. So stay with me a little while. Not for the algorithm, I am too old to care about that word. Stay the way you would sit at the kitchen table with a woman who finally figured something out and does not want you to wait as long as she did. And if you have a drawer of bills you have stopped really looking at, tell me in the comments. I want to know I am not the only one who lived that way. Let me take you back to the kind of woman I was. I was the one who had everything on autopay before autopay was even common. Electric, water, phone, the cable, the insurance, all of it. Pulling out of my account on the same days every month like clockwork. I balanced my checkbook to the penny. When my friends complained about a late fee, I would think, quietly, that they should be more organized, like me. And here is the thing nobody tells you. That discipline, the very thing I was proudest of, was the exact thing that was bleeding me. Because when you set a bill up and never touch it again, you are not being responsible. You are being predictable. And a predictable customer is the most profitable customer a utility company, a phone carrier, an insurance company has ever had. They do not raise your rate all at once. They would never. They raise it $2 here, $4 there, a service fee adjustment, a rate true-up, language designed so your eyes slide right over it. Year after year after year, I paid every one of those increases without blinking. For decades, I never called a single one of those companies to ask a question, because in my mind, a person who pays on time does not make trouble. I confused silence with virtue. There is a particular kind of trap built for people exactly like us. People over 65 who are settled, loyal, and tired of fighting over small things. The whole system runs on the assumption that we will not switch, will not call, will not read the fine print, because we have been with them for 30 years, and we are not about to start now. They call it customer loyalty. I have a different name for it now. It is a loyalty tax. And women of my generation pay more of it than almost anyone, because we were raised to be agreeable, to not make a scene, to be grateful for the service and not haggle like we were at a market. My mother was like that. She would apologize to a man who stepped on her foot. She thanked the doctor for telling her bad news. I watched her do it my whole childhood, and somewhere along the way I learned that a good woman is an easy woman to deal with, easy for everyone except herself. I carried that into every account I ever opened. I was the customer every company dreams of, the one who says thank you and never ever asks why the number went up. And I want to say something to the women listening especially. We live longer than the men do. The statistics are plain about it. A woman retiring today can expect to need her money to last well into her late 80s, sometimes longer. Which means every dollar we leak quietly, every month, we leak for more years than anyone. The loyalty tax is not the same size for us. It is bigger because we are paying it for longer, on savings that often started smaller. This is not a small thing. This is the difference between independence and dependence at the very end. I want to be honest with you. It is not only the companies, it is what we tell ourselves. I told myself I did not have time to sit on hold for an hour to save $11 a month. I told myself it was not worth the headache. I told myself $11 was nothing. $11 a month is $132 a year. Over the 15 years of retirement I have had so far, that one little bill I could not be bothered with would have been almost $2,000. One bill, and I had 6 of them. But I did not see any of that yet. I was comfortable. I was disciplined. I was, I thought, doing everything right. And then I was 71, and the phone rang early on a Tuesday, and everything I thought I knew about time and money cracked open. The call was about my friend Eleanor. We had worked together for almost 30 years. We were going to do all the things someday, the trips, the long lunches, the life we had both deferred. She died in her sleep at 73. No warning, no someday. I am not going to pretend I went straight to my finances. I grieved. I sat in this house and I grieved for weeks. But somewhere in that fog, I started opening drawers. You do that when someone dies. You start touching the physical world they left behind and your own. And I opened the drawer in my kitchen where the bills lived. The drawer I had not truly looked inside, not really read, in maybe 15 years. Statements I had glanced at and filed. Autopay confirmations. The paper had that smell old paper gets, dry and a little sweet, and the rubber bands had gone brittle and snapped when I touched them. And I sat down on the kitchen floor, at 71 years old, with the afternoon light coming in low across the linoleum, and for the first time since I retired, I actually read them. I remember thinking about Eleanor as I did it. She had a drawer just like this one. I had seen it the week before her funeral, when her daughter asked me to help sort the house. The same envelopes, the same auto-pay, the same 30-year accounts no one had questioned. Her daughter found a streaming service Eleanor had been paying for every month for a show that went off the air years before. Eleanor never watched it. She just never looked. And it struck me hard, sitting on my own floor, that the only difference between Eleanor's drawer and mine was that I had been given a little more time to open mine. What I found made me feel sick, and then it made me feel something sharper. because I realized Eleanor and I had spent our whole lives being careful with money in the way that does not matter, clipping a coupon, skipping a coffee, while bleeding it quietly in the way that does. And she ran out of time before she ever got to fix hers. So I am going to give you what I found. 6 bills, the exact 6 I was overpaying, and what I did about each one. Sit with me. The first one was electricity. I was on the standard rate I had been put on when I moved into this house decades ago. I had never once asked if there was a better plan. There was. My utility offered a budget billing option that smoothed out the seasons, and more than that, a discount program for people over 65 and for anyone with certain medical equipment in the home. I qualified and never knew. I also had a house full of things drawing power doing nothing. The cable box, the old printer, chargers in every wall. The plan change and the unplugging took one afternoon. It cut my electric bill by almost 1/5. The second was water and sewer. This one I almost skipped, because what is there to do about water? But I called my municipality and asked one question. Is there a discount for senior residents? There was. A reduced rate for homeowners over 65, sitting there for years, that you had to apply for. No one mails you that form. You have to ask. I also had a toilet quietly running in the back bathroom, a few dollars a month leaking away. Both fixed in a week. The third was the telephone, and this one I am not proud of. I was paying for a landline I almost never used, and a cell phone plan built for a working family of 4, unlimited everything, for one 71-year-old woman who mostly called her sister. There are carriers now with plans made specifically for people our age, for a fraction of that. There is even a federal program, Lifeline, that helps lower the cost for those who qualify. I cut that bill by more than half and lost nothing I actually used. The fourth was the internet and the cable television, bundled together the way they trap you. I had been a customer for over 20 years, and do you know what 20 years of loyalty had earned me? The highest rate they offered. The newest customer down the street paid less than I did for more. I called. I said the word cancel. I was transferred to the department that suddenly, magically, had a retention offer. The same service, $40 a month cheaper. For one phone call I had been too polite to make for 2 decades. The fifth was insurance, the home and the car together. I had not reshopped either one since the 90s. I was paying to insure a car I now drove maybe 4,000 miles a year, with no low mileage discount, no senior discount, nothing. My deductible was set low, which meant my premium was set high, for a risk I could easily cover myself now. One independent agent ran my numbers against a dozen companies in an afternoon. I was overpaying by nearly $600 a year for the exact same coverage. And the sixth. The sixth was the quiet one, the one that hides best. It was my prescription drug coverage, my Medicare Part D plan. I had chosen it years earlier and let it auto-renew every single year without looking, the way I did everything. But my medications had changed, and the plan that fit me at 66 was overcharging me badly at 71. Plans change their pricing every year. You are allowed to switch every year during open enrollment, and almost no one does. I switched, and I saved over $1,000 a year on the same pills from the same pharmacy. 6 bills. When I added it all up, sitting on that kitchen floor, I had been overpaying by more than $3,000 a year after year after year, while telling myself I was the disciplined one. I want to tell you what that number really was, though, because it was never really about the dollars. It was about attention. For 40 years, I gave all of my attention to the machine, the job, the deadlines, the saving for someday, and I gave none of it to my own life, the actual texture of it, the drawer in my own kitchen. I was so busy being responsible for the future that I never noticed I was being quietly robbed in the present, by $2 at a time, by my own politeness, by the belief that not making a fuss was the same as being wise. And the cruelest part is the math of it. If I had done one afternoon of this work at 65, when I retired, instead of at 71, that is 6 years, more than $18,000 gone, because I could not be bothered to read my own mail. $18,000 is a trip I keep saying I will take. It is a year of the help I will need someday. It was sitting in a kitchen drawer the whole time. So let me tell you how I live now at 75. Twice a year I sit down at this table with every bill I pay, and I read them, all of them. I treat it like an appointment, the way I used to treat a meeting I could not miss. I ask one question of every recurring charge. If I were a brand new customer today, would I be paying this much? If the answer is no, I make the call. I have made my peace with sitting on hold. I bring a cup of tea and I wait, because I have decided my time on the phone is worth a great deal more than I ever let it be. And I have learnt to use the word cancel without my voice shaking. I have learned to ask plainly, is there a discount for someone my age? The worst they can say is no. Most of the time there was a yes sitting there the whole time, waiting for me to be brave enough to ask. I am not telling you this to make you feel foolish. If you have lived the way I lived, paying on time and never looking, you were not foolish. You were doing exactly what a good, responsible person was taught to do. The shame does not belong to you. It belongs to a system that turned our best quality into its best profit. But I am telling you, woman to woman, that you do not have the years to waste that you think you do. I learned that from Eleanor, who never got her someday. The money matters. $3,000 a year matters. It is a real thing in a real life. But what it really buys back is attention. The right to spend your one life paying attention to your own kitchen, your own drawer, your own days, instead of feeding a machine that was counting on you to look away. So this week, not someday, this week, open the drawer. Take out the 6, the electric, the water, the phone, the internet, the insurance, the prescription plan. Read one of them all the way through. Make one call. Save $11 or $40 or $600 and feel what it feels like to stop being predictable. Because here is the last thing, and then I will let you go. I spent 40 years believing that if I was just disciplined enough, careful enough, quiet enough, I would be rewarded at the end. And the end came, and the reward was a drawer full of bills that had been overcharging me the whole time while the years went by. It is not too late for you. It was not even too late for me at 71 on that kitchen floor, but it gets later every month you wait. Open the drawer. Your life is in there. $2 at a time. Go and take it back.